What's up guys, Bachman's Garage back at you again with another video. Today we're going to do a update on just XBs. So this is the parts XB that I bought not too long ago. I've stripped out the entire interior. If I can show you without getting crazy muddy here because my yard's a swamp. I kept the front seats, I kept a few pieces of the interior, I kept the driver and passenger side mirrors. I'm keeping the hatch with the rear glass and a few other things. Everything that's in here though that you can see, aside from the stuff that fell off the roof, everything in here is for sale. Back seats and everything. I kept the front seats. If you're in the Harrisburg area or Pennsylvania area and you're looking for parts for a first gen, so 04 to 06, let me know. Definitely have usable parts in here. There's a few things on the exterior like the hood and the doors. The doors are for sale as well. But got the rear wheels off, rear bumper, front fenders, etc. The actual bumper covers and skins, those are for sale. But the under portion, the one that's on my daily box, is a little rusty, so I'm going to keep the other one. I'm in the process of lubricating everything in the rear so I can pull the actual trailing arm out. I'm going to be doing some custom modifications to a factory trailing arm, this trailing arm more specifically. And then I'm kind of curious about upgrading the rear brakes to disc brakes. Everybody says, oh, it's completely unnecessary because Scions don't have enough power or enough weight that they need big brakes. Well, that's perfectly fine, but it's still cool to do it, and it makes brake maintenance a lot easier than doing drums. Even though these little drums, I mean, you can see how big they actually are. I'm not a big dude, but yeah. Exhaust has got to come out of it. Muffler is still good and usable, so that'll be for sale. The mid pipe is like, I don't know, it's kind of hit or miss, but the catalytic converter and like forward to the header is perfectly usable. I'm debating whether I want to keep the header because aftermarket headers are stupid cheap, or if I actually want to spend the money for the future build and actually buy a Weapon R header. I don't know. I might make a custom header. We'll see. But anyway, rear wheels and tires came off, obviously. I got to break the tires off the wheels, sell those, and then whenever I'm ready I'm going to disassemble the whole front end. I'm keeping the motor, the trans, the control arms, etc, etc, etc. That's pretty much what's going on with the first gen. Well, we recently got my girlfriend 2012 XB, and it's running and driving. There's nothing really major wrong with it, but I bought it pretty far away from home. I just took the valve cover plastic cover off. I'm lubricating bolts and whatnot because it has a leak right here at the back of the manifold, and I'm almost positive it's just the gasket, but I have a small suspicion that from driving it with the gasket being messed up, it might have cracked the actual manifold, which, you know, if it did, it did, you know, no big deal. But because of where this was, even though it's a 2012, the hardware on this thing does not look great. You can see the shield's just rusted to all hell. Looks like the O2 sensor was replaced at some point. That wire looks way too new compared to everything else. I mean, it's got some surface rust on stuff in here, but I actually had this car up on a lift, and the underside of it is surprisingly immaculate. There's a couple nicks and dings right here. Fender don't quite line up with that seam there. Some scratches and stuff. We think the front end was repainted, but we did a Carfax on it, and there is absolutely no accident reports or anything with this. So unless it was a hit and run, which is somewhat unlikely, I mean, even the wheel wells look great. Like I said, I mean, these are all just like rock chips, and they have the factory protectors here, but, you know, it don't do much for up here. It's got a couple little dents here. Looks like a shopping cart. This is the most major defect in the paint and everything. And honestly, my girlfriend, I'm expecting to kind of ding it up a little bit here and there. So I'm going to probably just sand this, throw a little bit of body filler in it, and try to paint match it the best that I can. And then in the future, we might put a set of side skirts on it. But the reason my girlfriend wanted an XB is because she loves mine. She's disabled, and it sits up high enough that she can get in and out of it without having to literally crawl out of it. I like the second gen for her because it's a 2.4, it's got a little bit more power. Unfortunately, in my situation, it is automatic, but it's not my car. She cannot drive stick because of her condition with her legs. So the second gen sits a little bit lower than a first gen does factory. Maybe not actual ride height, but the seats do. So to accommodate for that and to add a little bit of looks, we're going to do the 1.6 inch lift kit that they sell on, they have a couple different platforms they sell it on. I found it on eBay, but they have pretty decent reviews. Then we're going to go with a 16 inch somewhat off-road looking wheel with a not crazy aggressive all-terrain tire, just to kind of offset the off-road look. So I'm going lowered and she's going lifted, which I think is a pretty cool concept. And just for you guys trying to figure out the color, it is like a black cherry metallic, I think, or something to do with burgundy metallic. But yeah, we have the seats folded down in the back because she has her wheelchair and it fits more than capably. Overall, the interior is pretty clean. Still has factory floor mats from 2012, which, you know, it's not crazy impressive, but they're very decently clean. Looks like this car was well maintained. Where it was at was still somewhat in the rust belt. But yeah. And then, of course, we have takeout, but not much has changed with him yet. Yeah, so we're currently up to 3 XBs. Hopefully, as soon as I get all the parts pulled off of this parts car. Unfortunately, after I chop some stuff off the body, the actual chassis of the car will probably be scrapped because I do not have a title for it. It's too much money and too much process to go through to get a title just to sell a body. And then to top it all off, it's just a pain in the ass to move. So once I get all the usable parts sold on it, once I get all the usable parts that I want removed off of it, I'm going to chop up the body to the panels that I want to keep for body repairs on my car, and then I'm going to chop the rest of the car up and haul it off to the scrapyard. So if anybody is looking for doors, all 4 doors for $275, or if you only need 1 or 2, it's $100 a piece. So I'm trying to get people to have the initiative to buy all 4 because it's a good deal. Hood with sprayers and hinges, $30. I'm not selling the rims. I'm keeping the rims, but I'm selling the tires, but they unfortunately are already sold. I have a variety of other parts though: exhaust, interior components, back seats, back seat mounts, an entire dash with the airbag, the steering wheel with the airbag. I got multiple computer controls in there, all kinds of other parts, factory radio, speakers, and then I even have a valve cover from Password JDM that is carbon fiber. I've been trying to sell that for a while. I actually had that before I had this car. And one thing I did notice about this, if you notice, the hatch is black and the car is charcoal. I've never seen that from factory, and I know it's not a wrap. So I think that this car at one point had a rear end collision, probably broke the glass, and it was just cheaper for them to go and get a whole hatch at the junkyard. But either way, this hatch is in better shape than mine. So I'm going to take this, and on the bright side, the inside of it's already painted black, so then when I paint the outside of it black, I don't have to redo the inside of it. So yeah, that's pretty much the update with the XBs. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it.